I think it's kind of interesting that he's in Hawaii and I'm from Hawaii, and he has Japanese swords behind him. And my family. This is my great uncle. This photograph, Gary, was taken by Commodore Perry when Perry opened the doors of Japan, and that sword in his hand is mine. It's upstairs in my gun room. It's in very safekeeping. It's spectacular. It's got blood stains on it. So our family was samurai in the lineage, if you understand that. It's like the feudal knights and stuff like that.
I very much understand.
So it's a very culture of England. So as I said, Gary, Alexander Everett talks about, technical trading, which most people do. When you watch CNBC, that's what's on the charts. And I found out I have a brain for real estate. And so when he talked about candlesticks, because I'm Japanese, I understood it even less. Wasn't the Hungarian Revolution 1956?
Yes.
I remember that very clearly. And that's why I hold up this book here. I'm being attacked by Arizona State University because I'm a capitalist. And I was in a press release, and I think you'll understand this, being from Hungary and appreciating what America offers people who come here, that I held this book up to the camera while being interviewed about how do you feel about Arizona State teachers, upset with me because I'm a capitalist. And I said, I'm a conservative capitalist. I don't know about all these. And I held this book up and I said, you should read this book. I read this book when I was 18 years old in 1965, because I went to school in New York, went to military school, one of the 5 federal academies, because my family, again, because we were interned and prisoners and slaves, basically, because Japanese came to America as indentured servants. That's another way of saying paid slaves. I'm sitting here with my flight jacket because like my uncles, I fought for America. I fought in Vietnam twice. There's a gap, Gary. The gap between rich and poor right now is so wide, it's dangerous. We're on the brink of communism again, and that's why.
At least, yes, sir.
I wrote this book here. Fake money. That's our compatico there. Fake teachers. I mean, they're picketing. They're going to picket my event at ASU Wednesday night, and then fake assets. The U.S. dollar is not a frickin' asset. Gold is. And so I want to also let you know, I'm pretty hardcore gold miner, Gary. In a world where people may know there's 2 basic types of investing. Fundamental, which is what Rich Dad does, is income statements and balance sheets. And technical, which is emotions. Markets go up and markets come down. And the great thing, the reason I was studying technical was fundamentals go up too slowly. But when they come down like a house. They just drop. So I was studying technicals for self-protection. And that's when I first heard of candlesticks, Japanese candlesticks. But my brain is a real estate brain, so I just couldn't catch on to it. I love it. You know why? It's because I get my ass in trouble. The reason I'm in trouble with Arizona State and the school teachers are after me is because I call them a bunch of fakes. They talk about things they don't do. They teach subjects they have no relationship to or much use to anybody. And so one of the things, we're putting on, Sarah and I are putting on an event April 6th, 7th, 8th. And it's my real team, my real entrepreneurs coming together to teach. But I'm sick and tired of teachers who are fake teachers, fake money, and fake assets. So I congratulate you. That I suggest everybody pick up the book just to understand it. Now, I am Japanese, but I didn't understand it, Gary. But we have different types of minds. So let me add a quick question on gold and silver, because again, I own tons. I mean, I literally have more gold and more. I started buying my first precious metal was I would take I caddy at Hilo Country Club in Hilo.
Okay.
I get a buck for 9 holes, and I take that buck down I'd go to First Hawaiian Bank, but back then was Bishop Bank, and I would get a roll of quarters,
Yes.
4 quarters or 10 dimes, whatever it was. And I would look for that little copper ring around it. If it had a copper ring, went back to the bank. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 17 years old, 64. But that's Gresham's law, which states that when fake money enters the system, real money goes into hiding. And so I knew the real money was still at the bank, so I trade my little dollars in, give back all the copper tinged fake silver because Johnson took it off the gold standard, the silver standard in 64. And I have tons of silver and gold mines, and I'm never going to sell it because I use debt, because money became debt, as you know, in 71 with Nixon. Because I use debt, I pay no taxes. That's my formula. So when you go into a gold or silver dealer, you'll find one quarter worth $5, another quarter worth $50. And the difference is the date on the coin. That's numismatic, it's a collectible. So this is my question, why silver? Because I've been saying, I speak for Lair Capital. I'm always saying buy silver. Why silver? I like silver because it's an industrial metal as well as a monetary metal and a numismatic metal. If you see gold and silver going up, that means the dollar's going down. I'm not prejudiced. I call it fake money and fake teachers, but I should have called them fiat teachers. Gary, I'm catching hell right now from Arizona State teachers, but I'm a conservative and I like capitalism. And I think every one of them should read this book here. I had to read it in 65 and that changed my life. That book changed. Communism changed my life. Gary, thank you very much. And we'll make sure that people get to your site. And I appreciate your service to humanity and glad Japanese candlesticks changed your life. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
It's my honor. Thank you. Welcome back, Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Show, the good news and bad news about money. Special thanks to Gary Wagner. He's executive he's the producer of the goldforecast.com. Please visit his site and look into Japanese candlesticks. And he's more Japanese than me. I'll show this picture again. This is a picture of my great uncle. And that samurai sword is in my gun cabinet here in Arizona. And Gary has his swords. And these swords are worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And the thing that's kind of interesting, this is a swords guy looked at it. He says, you got bloodstains on it, because the sword is kind of damaged. He says, they cut through bone. And I'm going, so this is around 1850, I think this picture was taken. So it's kind of interesting for a white guy who's more Japanese than a Japanese guy. What do you think, Sarah?
I thought it was a great discussion. When we first pitched Gary coming on the show and he's talking about Japanese candlesticks, I had zero clue what the heck he was talking about. And so I had to go Google it. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I just thought it's something we've never discussed in my time with the Rich Dad Radio Show. Right. I thought it was a valuable piece of information. I loved how he described the difference between a Western trader and the Eastern trader and what they see as important. I thought that was very interesting. And then
what did you pick up? Because like I said, I studied this stuff. And I have a white man's brain. I didn't catch on to it.
So this is one of those, I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. But basically, he was talking about how they build a picture to see a trend. And their pictures are different because they value the open and close differently than how we would. So it's it's a vertical visual versus a horizontal. So different though, right? Never even would have considered talking about, thought about the importance of a candlestick. Let me
add one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The candlestick is called a candlestick because of these points on it. And it's a picture, so it wraps their brains into it. And apparently his brain adapted to it.
Yeah.
So in my vocabulary as a Japanese Westerner, we're either accumulation or distribution. Those are the two words. It's entry and exit. Accumulate, distribute means you sell. And I never sell gold or silver. I almost never sell real estate either, because I'm in accumulation And as this book says, I want assets, not fake assets. And it's got to be making money. So gold and silver always makes money because it's real money. It doesn't lose. I call gold and silver God's money because it was here when the earth was formed.
Small ebook, big impact, The Wealth Tree. The only 4 ways that will make you financially free forever. Download it here for free.